Okay, so let's talk about Japa. It's a word we all know, we all hear. But here's the thing, very few people approach it with an actual strategy. Today, we're not just going to talk about the reasons people leave, we're going to break down how to think about it as a calculated strategic move, one that's built on a solid plan, not just on a hope and a prayer.
And yeah, let's just be honest right from the jump. This quote, it hits home for so many people. It's that thought that pops into your head when you're stuck in traffic, when the power goes out again, or when you glance at the exchange rate and just shake your head. This right here, this is our starting line for the whole conversation.
So what's really behind that thought? Come on, it's never just one thing, is it? It's a whole set of powerful shared frustrations that all add up and create this massive pull to look for something else. Let's break down the big ones.
First up, and this won't surprise anyone, is the money. It's that daily financial pressure, that feeling of working your tail off, but you're just running in place, never really getting ahead. It's a constant heavy weight on your mind.
And you've really got a 1-2 punch here. On one hand, you've got the economic instability. Your salary's flat, but the cost of rent, food, everything just keeps climbing higher and higher. Then, on the other hand, you have the job market itself. You can be brilliant, you can have the degrees, but you find yourself underemployed, realizing it's often more about who you know than what you know. You put those two together, it's a perfect recipe for feeling completely trapped.
And this quote absolutely nails the real issue. It's not just about earning a bigger paycheck. It's about what that money is supposed to get you. It's about predictability, about having some control, the simple freedom to plan your life without that constant nagging financial anxiety. But you know, it goes so much deeper than just your personal bank account. There's also that daily battle with systems that are supposed to be there to support you, but half the time it feels like they're actively working against you. Just think for a second about the sheer exhaustion that comes from all this. The constant power outages, the terrible roads, the absolute nightmare of bureaucracy you have to fight through just to get the simplest thing done. And then, layered on top of all of it, is the corruption that just feels like it's everywhere, making you believe the whole system is rigged. It all just drains your time and your energy.
Exactly. People aren't chasing some life of insane luxury. They are chasing sanity. They're chasing the simple, beautiful promise that the lights will stay on, that the roads will be decent, and that the rules will be the same for everybody. You just can't put a price tag on that kind of predictability.
And this brings us to some really personal stuff. These are the reasons that hit closest to home. We're talking about the well-being of you and your family, not just for today, but for the future.
I mean, when you're worried about your basic physical safety, your whole outlook on life changes. When you know that just getting sick could be a huge gamble because the healthcare is so inconsistent, that's a heavy burden. And for parents, the quality of schools is everything. You stop thinking just about your own life and you start thinking about the kind of opportunities you want for your kids.
And that's the crucial point. For so many, this is a long-term generational play. They're making this enormous life decision to completely change the future for their kids and their kids' kids. It's about making sure they have access to stable education and reliable healthcare.
And finally, you've got the social and personal drivers. These are a little harder to measure, but they are just as powerful when it comes to making this kind of decision.
We have to be honest, right? There's a certain prestige that comes with being overseas. Social media, family expectations, that pressure is real. But if you look underneath all of that, you find something even more fundamental. The basic human desire for freedom. The freedom to live a life with less friction, to have a better quality of life, and to feel like you're actually in control of where you're going.
And that is the absolute key. Chasing an idea of freedom is one thing, but actually building a life of freedom, that takes a plan. And this brings us to the most important part of this whole explainer.
So after hearing about all of those frustrations, it is so easy to think that just getting on that plane is the final answer, that it's the solution to everything. But is it really that simple?
The answer is a hard no, because desperation is not a strategy. Moving without a plan is just trading one set of problems for another, often way more complicated set of challenges. You need a completely different mindset to make it work.
So let's talk about that mindset shift. It's about moving from that reactive, I gotta get out of here mentality to a proactive, strategic one. It's all about preparation over pure impulse. Take a look at this. On one side, you've got the escape mentality. It's driven by desperation, it's unplanned, and it's totally focused on the short-term goal of just getting out. But on the other side, You have a strategic move. This is built on preparation, it's structured, and it has a long-term vision for what you actually want to achieve, not just what you want to leave behind. Success abroad is almost always found on the right side of this chart.
Okay, so what does moving smarter actually look like in the real world? This is where we get into the concrete, actionable stuff. This is the how-to part of the plan.
So here's the roadmap. Step 1. Understand the system where you're going. This is not optional. You have to research how credit works, how taxes work, how the local laws work. It is a completely different rule book, and not knowing it can set you back years. Second, build financial discipline now. This is about more than just saving for the plane ticket. It's about building the habits you'll need to survive the shock of starting over. Because trust me, there will be a shock. Third, map your skills to real opportunities. Don't just assume your CV will translate. Research the job market and be honest about where you fit. You might need to upskill or get a new certification before you even think about moving. Fourth, think long-term. This mindset shift is everything. An escape plan ends at the airport, a life plan starts there. This is about building a new life, a new community, not just running from an old one. And finally, find your people. Don't try to do this alone. Connect with structured diaspora networks. These communities are invaluable for real-world advice from people who have walked this exact same path before you.
Look, at the end of the day, this isn't about judging anyone's choice to leave. Leaving is not a failure. It is a valid, personal choice. But the real question, the one I want to leave you with, is this. If you're going to make that choice, are you approaching it with a real plan? Are you ready to move smarter, not just harder? That's the thought that really matters.